One of the most shocking things that has happened amid all of this Depp-Amber legal battle was when Elaine got on interviews to point fingers at everyone that was involved in the case. But it seems she might have taken things way too far and maybe stepped on the wrong toes, as reports are saying she's been completely AWOL from interviews ever since. So, what exactly did Elaine say that put her in such a terrible spot? Following the announcement of the 6-week-long legal battle between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, a lot of people weren't exactly thrilled with the outcome of the case. But while most of these individuals took their grievances to social media, Amber's lawyer decided to use a pretty unorthodox method. Only a couple of hours after the verdict was announced, Elaine started to grant interviews, and some would argue that the goal was to change the narrative in the public, while others will argue that it was damage control. Well, whatever it was, all it did was make things significantly worse for Amber, which seems to be the reason the lawyer has been completely MIA for all the interviews she's been invited to. But the base cause of all the problems she's experiencing now seems from the terrible things she said in her interview, starting with the first interview she had with CBS only hours after the verdict was given. The lawyer said,
"Setback for women inside the courtroom and outside the courtroom."
Because
basically what this said, Amber had an enormous amount of evidence, although a lot of it was suppressed in this case as opposed to the UK. But look at all the women who have no evidence. All these women who suffer from domestic violence, domestic abuse, they don't have evidence. And basically what this jury said is, unless you pull out your cell phone and you tape record your spouse beating you.
This wasn't even the terrible part of her words on live TV. Later during the interview, Elaine categorically stated that the same jurors she had thanked for their time merely hours before then were nothing short of cheats. She specifically accused them of not only disobeying the judge's direct instructions, she also accused them of basing their decision of the case on the things they saw on social media or on what their family members said. At this point, you would agree with me that things were actually looking really terrible for Amber Heard's case. But Elaine wasn't done rubbing her in the mud. Later, the lawyer took on another interview, and while she did repeat some of the things she had said in the initial interview, she took it up a notch here.
They weren't supposed to be. They're admonished every single day. Don't look at it. Do you think they did see it?
How can you not? They went home every night. They have families. The families are on social media. We had a 10-day break in the middle because of the judicial conference. There's no way they couldn't have been influenced by it. Horrible. It really, really was lopsided, and I appreciate your saying that. It's like the Roman Colosseum, how they viewed this whole case. I was against cameras in the courtroom, and I went on record with that and had argued against it because of the sensitive nature of this. But it made it a zoo.
Now, she basically just called a legal system that has been serving the country for over 5 decades a zoo. With all of these statements, it's not totally surprising that Elaine would just go AWOL. I mean, look at the mess she made while she was supposed to be cleaning up an old mess. But this wasn't the only tell that Elaine had messed up pretty bad. Recently, an Instagram influencer actually revealed that the actress had to cancel 3 more interviews she previously had lined up. The influencer, Vanessa Blair, also revealed that the reason she canceled those interviews was that she already realized no one was buying her sob story. Plus, she had already painted such a horrible picture of the jury. It's a miracle she's even still Amber's counsel. Some other fans think it's a miracle that she's even still a lawyer. Like this user who wrote, "Targeting the jury members and the judge in this interview goes against the very ethics of her board certification. Saying that it is unprofessional is more than an understatement." Another user who is of a similar view wrote, "Inconsistent and poor in communication both before, during, and after. Needless to justify now. When you lose at work, you just have to get up, roll up your sleeves, and start from scratch." From the looks of things, Elaine might actually need more than a miracle to bring herself and Amber out of the hole she just dug for them. Tell me, how bad do you think Elaine messed up with all of this?